She didn't know the cruel joke her coworkers had planned for her that night, but when the door of the restaurant opened and he walked in, everything changed. If you're watching this, stay with me till the end, because what started as a heartless prank turned into one of the most beautiful love stories you'll ever hear. And if this story touches your heart, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and share it with someone who still believes in kindness and fate. Maya was the quiet one in her office, the kind of girl everyone overlooked. She was polite, soft-spoken, and always stayed behind to help others with their tasks. But behind that shy smile was a woman who had known more heartbreak than she ever let on. 2 years ago, she'd been left at the altar by the man she thought she'd grow old with. Since then, she had stopped believing in love. So when her coworkers, the same people who often snickered behind her back, invited her to join a group dinner, she thought maybe they were finally trying to include her. She didn't know they had something else planned. "Let's set her up on a blind date," one of them whispered. "It'll be hilarious. We'll tell her he's rich, handsome, and perfect, and then we'll send some random guy to make her look like a fool." It was meant to be a joke, cruel and thoughtless, but fate has its own sense of humor. That evening, Maya wore her simplest dress, a pale blue, with small pearl earrings. She didn't expect anything special, but she wanted to be polite. Her coworkers had already taken their seats at a corner table, pretending to be casual as they stifled laughter, waiting for their prank to unfold. She sat nervously at the restaurant table, glancing at the door every few seconds. The laughter from the corner reached her ears, but she ignored it, clutching her small purse tightly. The waiter brought her a glass of water. She whispered, "Maybe he's not coming," and smiled sadly to herself. Then the door opened. A tall man in a charcoal gray suit stepped in, his little daughter clutching his hand. The child was wearing a pink sweater with a unicorn on it and holding a drawing in her other hand. The man scanned the room, confident, composed, but with tired eyes, the kind you only get after carrying too many responsibilities. When his gaze fell on Maya, something in him softened. He walked over slowly. The whole restaurant seemed to fall silent. "Maya?" he asked, his voice gentle but deep. She looked up, startled. "Yes, that's me, Broken Bar." He smiled. "I'm Ethan." Her coworkers froze. That wasn't part of the plan. They had arranged for a fake date, not a real one. But Ethan wasn't fake. He was the CEO of their parent company, a man who rarely appeared in public, let alone went on blind dates. Ethan noticed the eyes on them. He noticed the nervous, almost cruel amusement from the corner table, and he understood. In one glance, he knew what was happening. The setup, the mockery, the loneliness in the woman sitting before him. But instead of walking away, he pulled out a chair and sat down. "You look lovely tonight," he said quietly. Maya blinked, unsure what to say. "Thank you, Broken Bar. You didn't have to," he interrupted gently. "I'm glad I came." He smiled again, this time with warmth. "Would you mind if my daughter joined us? I didn't have anyone to watch her tonight." Maya's heart softened instantly. The little girl climbed into the chair beside her, showing her drawing. "I made this for my mommy," she said. "She's in heaven now." Maya's throat tightened. She took the paper and whispered, "It's beautiful." Dinner went on, and something magical began to happen. Maya forgot the whispers in the corner, the stares, the humiliation she'd feared. Ethan asked about her dreams, her favorite books, and her childhood memories. He listened, really listened, like no one had in a long time. And the little girl giggled between them, calling Maya Annie blue dress. By the end of the evening, Maya's laughter was real, but her coworkers couldn't let it go. When she went to the restroom, they cornered Ethan. One of them smirked, "You don't have to play along, sir. It was just a joke." "She's a Broken Bar, not really your type." Ethan's smile faded. He turned slowly, eyes sharp and cold. "A joke?" he repeated quietly. "So, humiliating a kind woman was funny to you?" The laughter died instantly. The CEO everyone feared at work was now standing before them, calm but dangerous. "I see how you treat people who are better than you in every way that matters," he said. "Don't bother coming to work tomorrow." When Maya returned, She noticed the tension but said nothing. Ethan only smiled and offered her his hand. "Would you join me for a walk?" They stepped out into the night air. The city lights reflected off the wet pavement. Maya glanced up shyly. "You didn't have to a broken bar defend me." He looked at her softly. "I didn't defend you, Maya. I admired you. You sat through their laughter with grace. Most people would have run out crying. You stayed." Her eyes glistened. "Because I'm used to being the joke," she whispered. Ethan stopped walking. His daughter tugged at his sleeve and handed Maya another little drawing, this time of three people holding hands. "That's you," she said with a smile. "So you won't be lonely anymore." Maya's tears finally fell, and then, to everyone's shock, to the waiters watching from inside, to the coworkers frozen at their table, Ethan bent on one knee. "Maybe this is too soon," he said softly, "but I don't believe in waiting for perfect moments anymore. People like you deserve to be cherished, not mocked. So Maya, a broken bar, will you give me a chance? Not a ring, not a promise, just a chance to make you smile every day." The restaurant gasped. Maya stood speechless, trembling. Then she nodded through her tears. "Yes," she whispered, "I'll give you that chance." Ethan's daughter clapped and hugged her tightly. The people who had mocked Maya sat frozen, realizing that the joke was on them, because the woman they tried to humiliate had just captured the heart of a man who saw her worth instantly. Months later, Maya and Ethan would often return to that same restaurant, not as strangers, but as a family. She would sit beside his daughter, helping her with homework, while Ethan watched them both with quiet love. Sometimes, life doesn't need grand plans or perfect timing. Sometimes, it only takes one act of kindness, one moment of truth, to turn pain into purpose. So if you're still watching, remember this: the people who mock you today might one day wish they had your strength. Keep believing in your worth, because someone out there will see it the way Ethan saw Maya's. If that message touched your heart, tap that like button, subscribe for more inspiring stories, and share it with someone who needs a reminder that kindness, no matter how quiet, always wins.